Today, we're going to do a tier ranking for how likely each state is to flip for the upcoming elections for governor. So I've got tiers A through F. A is going to be a very likely flip. F is going to be very unlikely or no chance. We've got 36 states on here. And this is kind of just based on how things look right now. It could change over the next 6 or 7 months. So there's no A tier, there's no Z tier. A lot of these are going to be borderline, and your tiers are going to look different. Let's get started in Alabama. Could Doug Jones take down Tommy Tuberville? I don't think so, but it's not going to be completely impossible. We're going to put that in D. How about Alaska? Mike Dunleavy is unpopular. Could it flip toward the Dems? I think it's a possibility. It's kind of a quirky state, and governor gives the other side a chance to make some gains. I'm going to put that in the middle with C. It's not likely, but it's not at all out of the question. Next, Arizona. This is going to be similar. I think this one could flip. Republicans have an opportunity to pick it up, but now they're mostly down to Andy Biggs. I think the whole thing is going to be an uphill climb, but it's not quite enough for me to put it in D. We're going to put it right on the bottom of the C tier. In Arkansas, this one is going to go in F. How about California? Well, the fantasy of two Republicans making it into the general in the top two primary, I think is going to be pretty unlikely. Either way, this has got to go also on the bottom in F. In Colorado, these days, I don't see this state flipping at all. We're going to have to put this in F as well. Connecticut is borderline at D and F. They have had some close races for governor up until the last one. There's not a lot of Republican bench here. I'm going to end up putting this just barely into the D tier, but you could put it in F. Florida is probably the same story. I think this could go in F. Out of caution with the national environment expected to favor the Dems, I'm going to put that in D. How about Georgia? How likely is this state to flip? Well, this is going to be a higher ranking. It's at least going to be in the C tier, but it could go into B. It's gotten a lot bluer. The national environment is favoring the Dems. I'm actually going to put this just into the B tier, but again, I think you could make a case for C. Hawaii, that's way, way on the bottom. Super blue. Idaho, again, within reason, it's going to be the same thing. Dems should not really stand a chance there unless some crazy stuff happens with third-party candidates. Illinois is another one you could maybe make a case for the D tier, but for right now, Republicans don't look like they have much going on here with this environment. I'm going to put this in a high F tier. In Iowa, this state does have an actual possibility of flipping. It's going to go into the C tier, but Dems are hoping to get this even higher, maybe into the B tier. For now, I think it could be competitive, but not enough to flip. Kansas is a rare pickup opportunity here for the Republicans. This is going to go just into the B tier. Dems have won it 2 times in a row. They're going to be looking for 3, but the state is pretty red. I think they might be looking for a change. That's why I think it's a little bit more likely than not to flip it, but it's not a guarantee. Next, we've got Maine. In this environment, I think it's unlikely to flip it, but not totally impossible. In Maryland with Wes Moore, no chance that's going to come close to flipping. Same thing in Massachusetts. In Michigan, there's a chance this state flips. It's going to go in the middle of the pack into C tier. Minnesota is a state that in a different national environment, Republicans would really want to put this in play. But right now, they don't have a lot going on, and with Amy Klobuchar, the nominee for the Dems, I think I'm going to actually have to take this from D down to F. Next, we've got Nebraska. This is another borderline DF ranking. Dems really don't have a lot going on here, but Jim Pillen, he's not a slam dunk candidate either. I guess out of just a little bit of caution, I could put this right in the bottom of the D tier. In Nevada, this should be a great competitive race. It does have the potential to flip, but for right now, it's going to go in C. In New Hampshire with Kelly Ayotte, that one I think is a little less likely to flip. It's going to go in D. New Mexico, same thing. Unlikely to flip, but not completely off the table. In New York, for right now, I think this has to go in F. Republicans really just don't seem to make it a serious play here. Ohio is another one that has some potential. It's going to go into the C tier. Oklahoma, way on the bottom. Super red state. Dems almost certain to come up empty-handed here. Then we've got Oregon. This one, another reach target for the Republicans. Not impossible, but it's going in D. Pennsylvania, probably similar, but you could actually make a case for putting this in F. We'll see what happens here, but I'm going to put this in D. Rhode Island, another state that we're going to put in D. Dan McKee, totally unpopular, but what are Republicans going to do about it? Most likely, they're going to take another loss. South Carolina, it's going to be kind of the opposite. Definitely primaries to get through, but Republicans most likely to hold on here, but not for sure. Let's zoom out just a bit here, and we've got South Dakota. This one should be pretty easy. We're going to put that in F. Tennessee, gonna be a similar story. Marsha Blackburn should be pretty likely to win that open seat. Next, Texas. This is an interesting state. Yeah, some of the polling could show it competitive. That tends to happen when you get far away from an election in a potential wave year. So there's no way this is going on the bottom. I could make a case for a borderline CD. But for right now, I'm going to say Abbott looks pretty good here, but we'll see what happens. I'm going to put this in D, but it's a lot closer to C than F. And in Vermont, this one really all depends on Phil Scott. If he runs again, it's an easy F tier. If he doesn't run again, then it goes up to B. So I'm going to try to average those out. We'll put it into the D tier. How about Wisconsin? Could that state flip? Yeah, it's possible, but in this environment, it's going to be an uphill climb. A lot of question marks here. You can make a case for D, you can make a case for C. It is a purple state in an open seat. I think the Dems are clearly more likely to hold on here, but in the end, I'll settle just on the other side of the C tier. Wyoming, that's an easy one. That's going to go way on the bottom in F. So these are the final rankings I've got. I've got nothing in the A tier. I don't think there's anything that's pretty much a slam dunk to flip. Georgia and Kansas, those are debatable, but I think those are the most likely states that could flip. Then in the C tier, those are up for grabs for both sides, if enough goes in their direction. But as I said many times, a lot of these are borderline, C, D, and D, F. Some people always freak out seeing certain states grouped with others. But when you've only got 5 tiers, that's what you're going to get. And honestly, at the end of this, I think I might actually take Georgia from a low B down to a high C. I think it's still just a little bit too early in that state. So there's always going to be scenarios you could come up with to bump states up or down however you'd like. But eventually you've got to settle on something, and these are the tiers I've got for the most likely seats to flip for governor. So let me know in the comments. What do you think about these rankings? I know you're going to disagree with at least 1 or 2 of these, but do you generally agree with most of them? Let me know what states you're taking a look at down below on your way out. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Join if you'd like to support the channel. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.